He walked into the courtroom with a quiet grin, relaxed and confident, like nothing here could really touch him. Silence was his shield. In his world, loyalty meant never speaking, never cooperating, never breaking the code. He believed that staying quiet would protect him. Even as the evidence piled up, prosecutors described him as cold and remorseless. They pushed for the ultimate punishment, death. Still, he showed nothing. No fear, no emotion, just that same empty stare. Even when people he once trusted identified him as the shooter, he stayed stone-faced, clinging to the rules of streets. But when the verdict was read, the room changed. The smile vanished, and in that moment, he understood something he never expected. Loyalty wouldn't save him here. This is the story of Kyle Williams, a man who trusted the streets, until the courtroom proved him wrong. In December 2011, Officer Arnulfo Crispin was killed during a routine stop in Lakeland, Florida. Williams was there that night, along with 4 others. What happened next would shock the community and lead to a trial that left a permanent mark on everyone involved. That night, Officer Crispin approached a group of young men at a local park. As he began a pat down, a gunshot echoed through the area. The officer was hit in the head and collapsed instantly. Witnesses later reported seeing Williams running from the scene, a gun visible in his hand. In seconds, a life dedicated to protecting others was gone. Police moved fast. The group was tracked down and taken into custody. Williams was arrested and charged in connection with the shooting. The evidence against him was strong. Eyewitness accounts, forensic findings, and testimony all pointed in the same direction. Yet Williams said nothing. He chose silence, following the gang code that valued loyalty over truth. Detectives questioned him again and again, but he refused to speak, offering no explanation of what happened then.
You shot a cop!
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't. You're not hearing me. I didn't.
Oh, I'm hearing you. You're lying. I know a liar when I'm looking at one, and I'm looking at one.
That's because I ain't crying and doing
I don't give a whether you cry or not.
I ain't no liar. You can ask anybody that. Kyle don't lie.
Kyle does lie.
Kyle doesn't lie.
What he doesn't do is tell the truth because I don't think you know how.
His refusal to cooperate painted a clear picture. This was someone deeply tied to a world where silence meant honor, even when it came at a heavy cost. To him, staying quiet was strength. To investigators, it raised even more questions. When the trial began, Williams sat in the courtroom without expression. He didn't testify. He let the attorneys speak while he remained still, detached from the process unfolding around him.
That's when Kyle raised up with that handgun and without warning fired a shot directly at Officer Crispin. That's the shot that struck him.
The evidence will show that several of them, when first questioned, denied being there at all.
Throughout the trial, his calm never cracked. He appeared distant, almost as if he were watching someone else's life being decided. Jurors listened closely to every witness and every detail, while Williams remained silent at the center of it all. He stuck to the code completely, refusing to implicate anyone, including himself. That loyalty became both his defense and his downfall. A young man torn between the rules of the streets and the reality of the justice system. As the case progressed, the story took a turn he didn't expect. The people he trusted didn't stay silent. One by one, they testified against him, placing him at the scene and naming him as the shooter. While Williams held firm, they did not. The betrayal was unmistakable. After more than 15 hours of deliberation, the jury reached its decision. Kyle Williams was found guilty of first-degree murder.
In this case, the defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We, the jury, find as follows: during the commission of this crime, the defendant discharged a firearm and in so doing caused great bodily harm or death to Arnulfo Crispin. During the commission of this crime, the defendant discharged a firearm. During the commission of this crime, the defendant actually possessed a firearm. Arnulfo Crispin was a law enforcement officer engaged in the performance of a legal duty.
The weight of the verdict filled the courtroom. Williams, who had shown no emotion for days, finally broke down. Tears poured as the reality of his situation hit him. His life, forever changed by one night, and one code he refused to break was now sealed. Prosecutors had asked for the death penalty, but the jury chose a different path. They recommended life in prison without the possibility of parole.
We, the jury, advise and recommend to the court that it impose a sentence of life imprisonment upon Kyle Devonta Williams.
The decision reflected careful thought. The jury considered the evidence, the testimony, and the circumstances surrounding the crime. Their choice showed restraint, believing life in prison was the appropriate sentence. Judge Donald Jacobson accepted the recommendation and handed down the sentence. What once looked like strength, his silence, now stood as a tragic mistake. The code he lived by led him to a place where silence could no longer protect him. In the end, regret replaced confidence. The loyalty he gave to the streets was never returned. His story is a harsh reminder of how misplaced loyalty can destroy lives. That breakdown in court wasn't weakness. It was reality finally sinking in. Silence didn't make him untouchable. It cost him everything. What do you think? Did Kyle Williams' loyalty make him honorable, or did it ruin him? Share your thoughts in the comments. And for more courtroom moments that leave you speechless, hit subscribe and watch the next video on your screen.
Why do you believe your son is innocent?
Because of how he was raised. On who to deal with, how he was raised, and to get involved with, to look to higher standards than to be into that.
My son is innocent. I know that he's innocent. I know my son is being falsely accused.
It's disturbing to us that somebody can sit there and say that they're innocent and say that they have nothing to do with that when everything says you were there.